Hey everyone, welcome back to this channel. Let's continue intro to programming. We have completed arithmetic and variables, functions and data types. Today we are going to read conditions and conditional statements. First I will read the tutorial, explain you the things, then we will do the exercise. Okay, let's read. You have already seen that when you change the input value to a function, you often get a different output. For instance, consider an add underscore 5 function that just adds 5 to any numbers and returns the result. So let's imagine that there is a function called add underscore 5. So whatever input you provide, it will give you output after adding 5. Okay. So if I pass 7 as input, then what will be the output? 12. If I pass 8, then what will be the output? 8 plus 5, 13. So whatever your input is, the output is same. No matter what the input is, the function always performs the same. Okay, the output is not same. The function performs is the same. It always adds 5. Okay, but you might instead need a function that performs an action that depends on the input. So suppose you want a function where the operation will be dependent on the input. Just for instance, see if there is a function add 3 or 8 that adds 3 if the input is less than 10 and adds 8 if the input is greater than 10. So here you can see that there are two kind of operations. If the input is less than 10, then it will add 3. But if the input is greater than 10, then it will add 8. So there are two kinds of operations you need. Now, if I provide 1, then the output will be 4, 1 plus 3. If I provide 11, then the output will be 11 plus 8, 19. Okay, so the operations are different and it is dependent on the input. Okay, so in this lesson, we are going to learn how to use conditions and conditional statements to modify how your functions run. Okay, so there are two conditions, less than 10, greater than 10, and depending on that condition, you find your output. The operations are different depending on the input. So how to apply those conditions and conditional statements, that is our motive. Okay, conditions in programming, conditions are statements that are either true or false, like the outcome will be either 1 or 0. There are many different ways to write conditions, but some of the most common ways of writing conditions just comparing two values. Suppose you check between 2 and 3. Now, if you write in this way, what will be the output? The output will be false because this is not correct. Now, Python identifies this as false since 2 is not greater than 3. Okay. You can also use conditions to compare the values of two variables. See here, where underscore 1 has a value of 1. Okay. Where underscore 2 has a value of 2. Okay. No problem. These are variable names. Now we check if this one is greater than this one. See, sorry. Now we check if var underscore 1 is less than 1. Now I want to check whether the value inside this variable is less than 1. So you can write in this way. It will either give you true or give you false, depending on what is the value inside var underscore 1 variable. Okay. And we check if var underscore 2 is greater than or equal to var underscore 1. I'll also check this one, that whether the value in this variable is greater than the value in this variable. Okay, so you can write conditions in this way. Then it will give you either false or true. Okay, now these are the symbols equals to check whether they are equal or not, greater than equals to check whether it is equal or greater than, same, less than equal to, does not equal to. These are the symbols you can use while performing any conditions. Check. Okay. Now, important note, when you check two values are equal, make sure you use the equals to operator, not the single one. Why so? Because single one is for assignment. That means you are giving the value. See here. Single one is for assigning the value. That means I am telling that keep 1 in this variable. But when I give equals to, that means please check whether they are equal or not equal. Okay. Now where underscore 1 equals to 1 checks whether the value is 1, but only equals to means set the value to 1. That's what I have said. Now, conditional statement. Conditional statements use conditions to modify how your function runs. They check the value of a condition, and if the condition evaluates to true, then certain block will be executed or the code will not run. This means I will give a condition and I will check if it is true, then do some operation. If not, then don't do. Okay. Now where that we will understand while doing examples. See. Okay, now if statements. The simplest type of conditional statement is an if statement. You can see the example. See here. Def means you are going to define a function. This is the function name. This is the input to the function. First, a message is set. Normal temperature. Okay, whatever the temperature is, first it is saved. Then, then the function accepts a body temperature in Celsius as input. Okay. Now initially the message is set to normal temperature. Okay, initially. Then there is a condition check. What is the condition? If temp greater than 38. So if temp greater than 38 is true, then the body temperature is greater than 38 degrees centigrade. Then the message will be fever. Otherwise, there will be no message update. Okay. So you understand that we are providing a condition here. If the condition satisfies, then this will be printed. This will be set. If not, then this will be ignored. Okay. So see here the function def to define the function name, input. This is the syntax. First an initial message is set, normal temperature. If it is greater than 38, then the message will be reset to fever. If not, it will remain as normal temperature. Then you return the message, whatever the message is, whether normal temperature or if the code has been executed, it has been replaced by fever. So that message will be returned. Return to calling code who have called the function. Okay. Now in the next code cell, we call the function when the temperature is 37. So here I am giving input as 37. It will go here. It will be passed here. The message will be normal temperature. Now the condition will be checked. Checked by if. If is the keyword. So if temp greater than 38, 37 greater than 38. No. So these things will not be executed. So the message will be returned. What was the message? Normal temperature. Okay. But in case of 39, this code will be executed and the message will be fever. Okay. So see, the output will change depending on the input. Okay. So you are checking a condition. Condition by giving if statement. Note that there are two levels of indentation. The first level of indentation is because we always need to indent the code block inside a function. Okay, so what is indentation? As I told you that Python follows some rules. Like see here, whenever you have written message inside the function, there are spaces. Okay, you can see. That means all these things are inside the function. So Python have some rules. Those are known as indentation. And while writing Python code, you have to follow the indentation. Otherwise, you may face some syntax error. Okay, and some guidance also are also there. Those are not mandatory, but you are suggested to follow those rules so that it increases the readability, so that someone else can understand what you have read over there. Okay, and what is the second level of indentation? See here, after if, when you write the message, there are spaces. Okay, so this means this complete message is under this function, but this message, I mean this line of code is under this conditional statement. So whatever operations you want to perform, you have to follow this indentation. Like spaces, spaces, spaces. Okay. Then all those codes will come under these conditions. If the condition satisfied, all those code will be executed. What is Note that because the return statement is not intended under if, it is always executed. They want to say that this one is not inside if. See, it has come out from if statement. So it is not inside the if statement. So that's why it will always execute, whether it's satisfied or not. If it is satisfied, then only these things will be impacted. If it's satisfied or if it's not satisfied, this one will always work. Okay. Now, if else statements. We can use else statements to run the code if a statement is false. Here we have discussed that if it is true, that code will be executed. But what if it is not true and I want some other code to be executed? Okay, I want to say if the temperature is greater than 38, then message fever, else message normal temperature. So for that you have to use the else keyword. Okay. So if keyword, if the condition satisfied, you will execute this line of code. But if not satisfied, then it will go to the else part. So else this condition will be, this code will be executed. Okay. Same here. Def keyword, function, input, if condition, if satisfied, then it will be executed, else it will be executed. Okay, when this line is executed, if temperature greater than 38, this either generates true or it generates false. So depending on true or false, if it is true, then this will be executed because this is indented inside the if statement. Okay. If not, automatically it will be passed to else. This one will not execute at all because the condition doesn't satisfy. The temperature is 37. It will not satisfy. It will go to the else part. Okay. Here it will execute this one. Okay. That is same like this one. You can see this one and this one have same purpose but written in a different way. There I have not used the else function, but here I have used the else function. Okay. You can pass with 37, then you can see that it will be normal temperature. Okay, fine. Now, if else if and else statements, we can use else if. It's in short we write ELIF, but it is else if to check multiple conditions. Here we have checked two conditions, but maybe there are three, four, many number of conditions. For that, you have to use this else if. Okay, see here. This is the function evaluate underscore temp whatever. This is the function name and you are providing the input as usual. Now your first condition. If temperature is greater than 38, then I will say fever. Condition not satisfied, we'll go to another condition. Else if means another condition. Now check this one. Temp greater than 35, true or false. Whatever it is, if it is true, this one will be executed. If not, it will go to the else part. Now the message will be low temperature. Okay, so depending on the input, it will check different conditions and accordingly the message will be set. See the indentation, they are all inside, codes are all inside their conditions. Here one level of indentation and there is second level of indentation. Let's read. First checks if temperature greater than 38, then the message is set to fever. As long as the message has not already been set, the function then checks if temperature greater than 35, then it will be normal temperature. Okay. If still no message has been set, that means this is also not satisfied. Then it will go to the else part. Okay. So you can think of else if as saying, okay, that the previous condition was false. So let's check whether it is greater than temp greater than 35. It's like the temperature is 37. So here it is 37. The condition is failed. Okay, so that one is failed. Let's check again whether it's greater than 35. So you check it again. Again false, then it will go to the else part. If it is satisfied, okay, 37 greater than 35, then in normal temperature will be printed. These things will not be executed. Okay, that's what they have said. Now you send with 36, you send with 34, and you check what are the output. Now example calculations. In the example so far, conditional statements were used to decide how to set the values of variables. But you can also use conditional statements to perform different calculations. In this next example, say you live in a country with only two tax brackets. Everyone earning less than 12,000 pays 25%, earning more than 12,000 pays 30%. Okay, two conditions. Now see, first you will send the earnings, whether 12,000, 15,000, 20,000, whatever your input is. First condition greater than 12,000. If it is true, then this will be executed. 0.25 into earnings. 25% taxes they have to pay. Okay. No, not less than 12,000. More than 12,000, then it has to pay this much of tax. Okay. So if one condition satisfies, this will be the code. Else, there will be another code. Okay. Then you will have to return the value, whatever the value is. If it is executed here, then also you have to return the value. If it is executed, the else part is executed, then also you have to return the value. Okay. The next code cell uses the function. Just see that I am sending 9,000, I am sending 15,000. For 9,000, this one will be executed. For 15,000, else part will be executed. They will never be executed uh, together. Okay. In each case, we call the get underscore taxes function and use the value that is returned to set the value of a variable. We calculate tax owned by a person. In this case, we call get underscore taxes with earnings set to 9,000. Okay, fine. Now, before we move on to another example, remember the function from the introduction. It accepts a number as input and adds 3 if the input is less than 10, otherwise adds 8. You remember we studied at the beginning. If the number is less than 3, so if the number is less than 10, then the result number will be added with 3 or the number will be added with 8. Okay, that condition. I hope now these things are clear. Now let's do one more thing, that is multiple else if statements. So you have used else if once, but there's no limit. I said there can be many conditions. Okay, see, there is a function called get underscore dose. You have to pass the weight. If weight is less than 5.2, then dose will be different. If weight is less than 7.9, the dose will be different. Okay, so whatever input you provide here, first it will be checked here. If the condition satisfied, fine. These things will not be executed at all. Those will be returned. It is not satisfied. Then it will check the next condition. If it satisfies, then this will be set. This will not be executed. Okay, so this way, this will run. Let's take the example 12. What will happen if the input is 12? First, it will go. If 12 less than 5.2, no. So it will not be executed. I'll go to the else if part. 12 less than 7.9? No. False. So it will go here. Less than 10.4? False. So it will go next else if. Less than 15.9? Yes, that is true. Okay. So what will happen? Those will become 5. Once it is set, it will not go for any other condition. It will go back here. So return those will be returned. So it will print function will print it. Okay. Now I hope completely clear to you. Now it's your turn to do the exercise. Okay. Okay. So first you have to set up the notebook. Then question 1. You work at a college admission office and when inspecting a dataset of college applicants, you notice that some students have represented their grades with letter. Okay. Others have represented with number. So you need a consistency. So all of the grades should be formatted in a way you decide to format them as letters. Okay. Now A, any grade from 90 to 100, 80 to 89 B, 70 to 79 C, 60 to 69 D, and less than 60 that means F. Okay. So you have to make a function by this name which takes the input value. Fine. The score is between 0 to 100. Now you should return a Python string with the letter grade that it corresponds to. For instance, if it is 85, this will come under B grade. Okay. 49, so this will be F. Okay. These are the conditions. Now you have to create this function get grade and you have to give the conditions. Okay. Now see. So let's write if score greater than equals to 90, then the grade will be A. Okay. Next condition, you have to give else if, because you can give if once, then you have to say else if. Else if score greater than equals to mm, 89 or greater than equals to 80, then the grade will be B. Okay, same way I'll copy paste. Else if again, else if first it will be greater than 70, then it will be C. If it is greater than 60, then it will be D. Okay, and next less than 60 it will be F. So no more else if statement. Directly I can write else grade equals to F. Because if these are not satisfied, not greater than 90, not greater than 80, not greater than 70, then there will be only one options, that is less than 60. So it will be F. Okay. So this is the way you have to write the conditions. Now let's run it. Fine. Now question 2. In this exercise, for the previous lesson, you wrote a function cost of project that estimated the price of rings for an online shop that sells rings with custom engravings. Okay, rings with engravings. Now the function didn't use the conditional statements. In the exercise, you will rewrite the function. Okay, no problem. So gold plated ring have a base cost $50, $7 per unit. $100 base cost $10 per unit. Solid gold rings. Okay, fine. Spaces and punctuations are also uh, counted. Okay. See, this is the function. This is the engraving. You have to first calculate the length of the engravings, and then you have to check whether it is made of solid gold or it is made of gold plated ring. Because for this price is different, for solid gold the price is different. Okay, now let's write the function. See, if the condition solid gold equals to true, then the price will be 100. This is the base price. Then 10 into length of engravings. You have to calculate what is the length. Length function will give you the length of the engraved unit. Sorry, length of the engraved units. Okay. Okay. Now else cost equal to what is the base price? 50 plus 7 into length of engravings. Okay. See, if the condition solid gold is equal to true, then it will be the cost. Otherwise, it will be the cost. Now, if I run it, uh, I'm so sorry. This is uh, an error. This will generate a name error. Okay, now it is fine. Now, question 3. You are a programmer at water agency. Okay, recently you have tasked to write a function get water bill and takes the input. Okay, the number of gallons of water a customer used that month. Depending on that, you will generate the water bill. Now, see, if he has spent 0 to 8,000 amount in gallons, then the price per gallon is $5. For this condition, the price is $6. Okay, greater than 30,000, then it will be $10. Okay, fine. Now, so you have to write the functions. Okay, so write if num gallons, this is the input. Here I will perform the conditions. Less than 8,000, then bill will be, what will be the bill? Bill will be not 1,000, but price per gallon, that is $5. 5 into number of gallons. Okay. Next condition will start with else if. So else if number of gallons. Let me copy this. I'll edit. Okay. Number of gallons less than, here it will be 22,000. So I'll write 22,000. Then bill will be $6 per gallon. Okay. Now the next one. Again you have to give else if statement. If it is less than, next one is 30,000. So I'll write 30,000. Then what will be? 7. So it will be 7. Okay. Why it is showing red? Because indentation problem. You have to keep them in a proper indentation. Okay. Now when it is done, next is the else part. Else bill equals to 10 into num gallons. Okay. So we have given many conditions. If, else if, else. Okay. If it is satisfied, this one will be executed. Else if, this condition will be checked. Satisfied, executed. Not satisfied, will go here. Satisfied, it will be executed. All others will not be executed. But not satisfied, it will go to the else part, it will execute and the bill will be returned. Okay. Num underscore gallons equal to 1,000. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. The price for 1,000 gallons is the value. So what you have to do for 1,000 gallon, $5. Okay, not for every gallon. Okay, so I have to do this for all of them. All your surroundings. What? 0 to 8,000. So I have to also give equals to. Otherwise, 8,000 will not be considered. Okay. So, fine. Now let's see. Okay. Now question 4. You work for a company that provides data services. For $100 per month, your company provides 15 gigabytes. Then for any additional data is billed since 1000 MB, 1 GB. Okay. So they have given conditions. Like, say, a customer who uses 10 GB of data in 1 month is billed only $100. But since the usage stayed under 15 GB. Okay. But who uses more than 15 GB of one in 1 month has gone over by 0.1 GB, 15.1. So it has to pay $100 plus 0.10 into 100 for a total bill of $110. Okay. Let's write the condition. So the first condition is if GB less than equal to 15, then the bill is 100. This is fine. But if not, you have to give else. Only two conditions, so you don't need else if. Okay. Else bill equals to what will be the bill? 100 is the base price plus for every GB. So sorry, GB minus 15, and for every extra GB you have to give 0 100. It will be 100. Okay, fine. Two conditions. If, else. Multiple conditions. If, else, if, else, if, else, if, else. Okay. Whatever the extra conditions you have to provide else if. Otherwise, if and else are fine. Okay, now the next question. In Mexico, foods and beverages that are high in saturated fat, trans fat, sugar, sodium, calories appear with warning level. Okay. See, box of cookies. Excess calories, excess sugar. So you will work with a function get underscore labels, take the nutritional details and then prints the needed warning levels. Okay. Food underscore type solid or liquid. Serving size, size of one serving, calories per serving, saturated fat, trans fat, sodium, sugar. Okay. Note that some of the code here should feel unfamiliar since we have not some of the functions used excess sugar, excess saturated fat. But at high level, these are the functions that returns a value of true if the food is deemed to have an excess sugar or saturated fat. These functions are used within get underscore labels function. Okay, let's first run this one. Here you can see that there are many inputs: food type, serving size, calories per serving, whatever they have said here. Okay, these are all inputs. Now you have to apply multiple conditions. If the excess sugar equal to true, then print this one. If excess saturated fat and pass these inputs, if true, then print something else. Excess saturated fat, excess trans fat, excess sodium. Okay, so if you make this program and you pass these things, then you will be able to see what is the problem with the food. Okay, uh, let's execute it. Fine. Now the next code cell demonstrate how to use get labels to get the warning label that the food item should contain. Okay. Now here is an image of all the nutritional information. Oh, you have to take the informations from here. Okay. They have already written it for you. Note that this for food. Food type solid, serving size 32, like serving size 32. Okay. So you have to see it from here. Okay, no problem. Now they have given all these things, and by supplying all these functions we can print the warning levels. Okay, so we will pass all this input here, then the conditions will be checked and then accordingly your warnings will be printed, whether it's high calorie, high sugar, whatever it is. Like in this food you have excess saturated fat, sodium, excess calories. Okay, don't intake. This bologna has three levels printed in the output above. Okay, so it may be printed here, though here it is not printed. That's a good thing. You can write a program for yourself. Whatever food you buy, you just pass the values, then check what is excess in it. So accordingly, you can uh, check your diet. Okay. Anyway, these are open food artifacts. Okay, so from here you have to take all the ingredients. See, saturated fat, sugar, fiber, protein, whatever here. From here you can get the ingredients and then you can pass it in this function like get levels and you pass all these ingredients that I'm not going to do. Okay, if you want, if you find this interesting, you can do. But our main objective for this one is understanding the conditions, that if you have one conditions, two conditions, multiple conditions, how to use if statement, when to use if else, how they are executed, how to maintain the indentation level. If more than one condition, you have to use else if statements. Okay. So, uh, meet in our next video. Till then, bye. Happy learning.